Hey everybody, it's Rachel Miner. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about probiotics. There's a few things that I love probiotics to do, and I would like you to research your probiotic and compare it and see if it does these four things. Okay? I recommend a good probiotic that has several good strains of probiotics in it. You want to make sure that it's got more than just one or two, maybe like 3, 4, 5 good strains of good bacteria in there that's going to help re-flourish your gut flora. And in the past, I've talked about your gut and how your gut is kind of like a garden. So imagine your gut like this beautiful garden, and you've got a lot of variety of plants in there. You don't just want to have just one plant in there because you're going to have a lot of things attacking it, and you want a good variety to, attack the bad in your gut. And there's a lot of bad bacteria in your gut as well. Now, the bad bacteria, in my mind, I envision it like weeds in my garden, okay? Every spring before you plant your garden, you've got all these weeds growing in there that have sprung up from, left over from last year, sprung up with the new spring and the new warm weather coming. And so we want to make sure we go in and we weed out all of those bad bacteria, all the weeds out of our garden. So we want a probiotic that's not only going to put good in there, so that's one thing, is that you have good strains going in your garden and going in your gut. But two, we want to be able to go in there and kill the candida. We want to weed that garden out. So a lot of probiotics just have good bacteria in there, but if you have a garden full of weeds, what do you think is going to happen when you plant those seeds? When you plant those new seeds to grow new plants, they're going to have a harder time thriving in there because it's covered in weeds. If I go out to my garden, there's weeds everywhere, and I throw out some seeds and I plant them, even if I water them really good and take care of them, how many do you think are really going to flourish and flourish the way they should grow? So if we go in there and kill all those weeds first and then plant our garden, how well do you think they're going to grow? They're going to have a lot better chance of growing. So we want to have a digestive enzyme that's going to break down that candida wall, the cell that has a very hard shell. It's like a hard core on that candida. And it takes real effort to go in and break down that shell. And it is tough. And when you try to go in and attack candida, it fights back. And a lot of times it fights back by making whatever you struggled with worse. And they call it candida die-off. That, like, if you struggled with fatigue or you struggled with sugar cravings, sometimes when you go in and attack that candida, it makes it worse for a while because it's fighting it and it's wanting to stay alive. And so a lot of times if you have candida, like, you'll crave sugar and malt and things like that because it's fighting to stay alive. So you want to make sure you've got that enzyme in there that's going to break down that candida, so it's going to do something good for you. Another thing you want to have is a digestive enzyme blend. Now, a lot of people take separate digestive enzymes, but if you had a probiotic that had one in it, isn't that better? That you can have like a probiotic that has 4 things in one, so you're not having to take like 4 different things on the shelf. But if you had a probiotic that had a great digestive enzyme blend in it that can break down proteins in your stomach, oh, that is amazing. Let me explain a little bit. When you eat whole foods, you eat your, fruits and vegetables, things out of the garden, that food has natural digestive enzymes in it to help break it down when it gets to your gut and passes through your digestive system. When you eat anything that is processed, it does not. So I would encourage you guys, take a look at your own diet, take a look at what you're eating. A lot of people look at their diet and they realize they're eating a lot of processed food. And they might go, oh, I have a healthy turkey sandwich every day. But if you're eating, lunch meat that's processed, there's some health in it, but it doesn't have those digestive blends in there. And it's really not that healthy for you. You'd be better off getting some fresh turkey or chicken, cooking it at the beginning of the week, and then just eating some off of it every day instead of getting lunch meat out of a package. I always think of, like, the longer it can sit on a shelf is the less likely you're to it's going to take that much off your life. That makes sense. So if I'm looking at something that sits on my counter and in 2 to 3 days has gone bad, that's probably pretty healthy for me. But if I have a hamburger or some crackers or something that I can sit on the counter and, a week or 2 weeks later, they're still good, and then they have a shelf life of like 3 to 5 years, that's probably going to take 3 to 5 years off my life by eating it because it's got so much processed crap in it. So you want something that's going to help break down all of that food you eat that does not have natural digestive enzymes in it. And a lot of people have IBS issues, stomach issues, bloating issues, bathroom issues, poop issues, like everything, because they're eating a diet full of all this processed food, and they'll be like, oh, there was added vitamins in it and it's healthy for me and stuff. But you're not getting the nutrients that you need in this processed food. The best thing for us is to go out and eat fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, live off the land. But you know what? Even that is not giving us all the nutrients that we need because our soil is so depleted. And the farming industry has changed so much that, they're putting chemicals and pesticides to make things grow quicker and, produce more. And so even our food is not giving us the nutrients that we need. So we need to make sure we are helping all of that digest inside our system. Now, the fourth thing that would be wonderful to have in your probiotic is an antifungal or an antibacterial, something that's also going to help build up your immune system. So grapeseed extract is an awesome one that helps build up your immune system. And how awesome is that to be in your probiotic, that it can help break down? I am someone that I consider myself a little bit of a probiotic snob because I have taken probiotics for more than like 25, 30 years. And I used to think that it had to be refrigerated and, in order to be good. But that's not the case, because when active probiotics hit your mouth and it hits moisture and heat, a lot of those probiotics that had to be refrigerated just died. And they die before they ever get down into your digestive tract. So being refrigerated does not mean that all of the good is going to get into you. Now, are there a lot of good probiotics out there? Yes, there are. Are there a lot of probiotics that can do a little bit more for you so you don't have to buy so many bottles of different things? Yes, there are probiotics that have digestive enzyme blends in them, enzymes that will help break down candida, that have antifungal in them. So if you'd like to learn more about what I would recommend in a great probiotic, I have a couple of them that I would love to recommend to you. And so reach out to me, comment, and I would love to hear from you. Have a great day.